Hello, everyone. My name is Asal Shokati, Ayurvedic practitioner, healing artist, and consultant to holistic professionals. And this is a first interview that I have the honored guest here in the office with me, and I will get to introduce him in a second. This channel and my line of work is dedicated to all holistic professionals and all people who are seeking a different, I don't want to say alternative, but a different, more basic, more humane and natural way of finding healing within. And by introducing all the practitioners to other practitioners or clients or students or enthusiastic people, it is to know about other modalities and what has worked, and real examples are seen within the person who's being interviewed. So without further ado, I would love to introduce Hootan Ziary, correct?
Yes.
And welcome to the office. And I've asked Hootan to share a little bit of his background with us. So I will briefly read this to you and I'll let him take over from there. But Hootan is a certified subconscious release technique breathwork practitioner. And I had the privilege of practicing in one of the sessions he hosted with a dear friend Nassim to ruminate with us in Houston, and felt the profound effect of this breathwork practice. So he will guide us through that later in this video, in this interview. And just to let you know, this is all about releasing certain patterns, thought form, and programs in order to be able to create or co-create the life that is more in harmony with certain concepts that have been noted as negative, like money, relationship with God, abundance, and so much. And Bhutan is also a love coach. And I love that he has a wonderful Instagram channel, and the videos, short videos, are very inspirational and to the point. But this kind of love refers to the relationship with oneself and God. So I would let Hootan take over and do a
Wow.
better introduction.
Wow, that was the best introduction ever. That was better than what I was gonna say. Thank you so much. I am so honored and grateful to be with you and be with you at home and wherever you're watching and listening. Thank you so much. Um, it's just such a beautiful honor for me to have a platform and be on your platform to be able to share my message and share any wisdom that I may have that may be of help to anyone that may be listening. And yeah, a little bit about me. I call myself a love coach, and instantly the first thing that pops into the minds of others is the relationship with others or love for someone else. And I the love that I'm talking about is love for God and love for the self, because I feel like everything starts from with us, everything starts from within, and the outside world is just a reflection of how we feel on the inside. And when we establish that connection and that deep, profound love for ourselves and the God within us, then slowly we become in harmony with the world around us. And uh, the breath work that I practice is very key to that, because we live in a world where there are so many negative thoughts, like you said, about money, about love, about God, about each other, feeling like we're separate from each other. And the breath work that I practice is very powerful because it targets those negative thoughts. It targets those negative thoughts that are in our subconscious mind, and it creates emotions within our body that we end up storing, and it just helps us to reprogram and be able to open up our consciousness, open up our mind, and be able to see the same situation from a different angle. And what's powerful about it is, like, the people that I work with, my clients, some of them have had psychedelic experiences. And just using the power of our breath and researching about it, I learned that our lungs create DMT naturally.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So we have that substance that,
That's available to us within us.
yes,
We don't need
yes,
to go outside of us.
yes, yes. And when we expand our lungs, when we breathe for, consciously for a specific purpose, and we're reprogramming and releasing those emotions, DMT starts to, be created where, and psychedelic is just something that expands your mind. It
Yeah.
helps you connect new neural pathways in your brain to be able to think differently, to be able to see a situation differently. And I just love how we're able to do that with the body that we have.
Yeah, and then like being sure of the integrity of the organ that creates it versus you don't know. I mean,
Exactly.
where you would land, what kind of material you get, and what surroundings you're in, and
Exactly.
how that would affect you.
Exactly. Yes, that's very true. It's all natural, all organic.
I'm all for that,
Yes, yes, yes.
Pretty interesting because in Ayurveda, there's this concept of, I always love to go back to it because that's just the main modality I practice. There's this concept of universal or nature's pharmacy, and we practically use everything available to us to heal and be in harmony.
Wow.
And colors and breath, but the fact that this lung that lives with us in this lifetime has the capacity to create such a thing, and then like giving it purpose. It's readily available.
Yes, yes. And my favorite thing about it, the thing that I love about it the most, is this type of modality can be learned by anyone and everyone. And once it's practiced, an individual is able to pick up their own subconscious programming. Once they're able to understand what subconscious programs are, what negative thoughts are, and how they control and influence our behavior, they can practice to pick up on their own negative thoughts, negative programming. And using this practice, they can be anywhere that is air and reprogram themselves. So it's a very self-sufficient, independent practice where you're going to be at a point where you're not going to need anyone anymore. You're going to be so sufficient by yourself, which is what I feel like is the ultimate goal of this life and this creation, is to be, we have everything within us, and new modalities, new practices that are coming out, that are being created, that is proof of that. That we're going to get to a point where each person is going to be able to do this and heal themselves and reprogram themselves and release these negative emotions that we all end up carrying from our childhood and from our traumatic experiences and different things that happen to us.
So you said all these programming that we have been carrying as children. Prior to that, you mentioned how all of that affects, it gets stored in the body. A lot of us these days, we pay attention to our thoughts and emotions and our well-being, the natural way, the sustainable way, looking at different healing modalities, whether being performed on us, receiving help, or doing it ourselves. When we want to attain a certain level of freedom, and you also mentioned that, at the end, we tend to escape the body. Yes. But it's all within this body. Yes. How do we become spiritual beings? By beginning in this body? And the breath is, I feel like, is this bridge between the physical body and all the other bodies, all the other experiences we have, like our energy, our thoughts and emotions that get stored in that. And you're targeting that very fine layer that is tangible and is also etheric. So that can go a long way.
Yes, and that's such a good point, because we tend to forget that, like you said, we tend to only focus on the mind. We only focus on just healing the mind and reprogramming the mind. And we forget that we as humans, as spiritual beings, we operate on emotion.
Yeah.
Every human being operates on emotion. It's just how we're built. If we're sad, we're going to do something to overcome the sadness. If we're happy, we're going to do something to prolong the happiness. And one thing about emotions and awareness and conscious and subconscious is, one thing that I've realized recently is that we never forget. We just lose awareness of it.
Mm.
Something happens to us early in our years. The emotions that gets created, we never forget those. They just get pushed outside of our awareness and they get stored somewhere in the body.
Yeah.
And as we grow older, every time something happens that is similar to that original incident, either those emotions get touched or that program that was created during that traumatic experience gets run again. And that's what we call trigger.
So you are kind of referring to what some may know as PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be anything crazy.
Yeah.
It's just, as a child, you're put in a situation, you don't know how to cope with it. Here, there.
Yeah.
And then it gets predisposed.
Yes.
More of it happens. All of a sudden, at the age of 30, you may have an issue in your gut. So you may have an issue in your intestines or anywhere else in the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is so fascinating, Hootan. When I was studying, when I was much younger in Iran, I remember that biology was one field, human anatomy, more than anything. I did not want to study, and I don't even know how I studied the chapter about the cardiovascular system. Because people who know me knew I would freak out, not from blood, but just seeing veins.
Yeah.
And I still got an A, but anyhow,
Wow,
it took
nice.
me all these years in the personal quest to know my own body and health to get back to it. But the point I'm getting to is I have started to study this again, more in the scientific way and less in the natural ancient way. And it's just amazing how, for instance, I've dealt with a pinch here. And I knew that when I would get stressed, this would just like jam.
Yeah.
And it would affect so many different things in my life. But it's as simple as that the lymph nodes and the vessels would meet certain arteries here.
Wow.
So the lymphatic system takes care of our immune system to a great deal. And these incidences of holding on to trauma here, it does affect the body and vice versa. So you can create physical stress in the body and affect the emotions. But more than that, the emotional pressure on this affects the lymphatic system. And it's just like this is where the whatever needed to be released into my bloodstream to be cleared, and I'm not allowing that. Not that I want to, but going back to childhood, certain things that have happened been stored here, now it's affecting physiology. It's like everything is related. That's all I meant by telling this long story.
Everything is. And one thing that was very surprising for me is growing up, when you see a child, you see how vibrant they are. You see how happy, how kind, how loving. There's just, when they're 1 year, 2 year, 3-year-old, they're still very high vibrational beings. Because they haven't been really affected by trauma yet, and they haven't really created those negative emotions yet. Conditioned. And as we grow older, I got used to how I was feeling on the inside. I felt like,
Yeah.
I would be, there was a period of time where I did drugs, and I would see the difference, and I would be like, okay, then there's got to be something here. And when I started doing this breath work and actually worked on myself and did it on myself for so many months and time now, I'm realizing that our natural state, our natural vibration is very high, but it's this unconscious emotions that we carry within us that brings our vibration down, and we have mistakenly accepted that that is our natural state, that is our natural way of being. And the sober state that we're in, we've accepted that this is normal, this is where we're supposed to
Sounds
be.
like instead of an evolution, is a devolution or
Yeah.
devolution. I don't know how you say it in English, sorry, but it's like, hey, we have evolved, but instead we have regressed.
Yeah. And I feel like that's by design, because we come in super high vibrational, super happy, and then life gets its hands on us, conditions us. We come down, and then it's our job to slowly peel again, to um, reprogram again, to unbecome into that high vibrational being.
Now we're going to put you on the spot. Why do you think that is? Why do we have to go through this suffering? It is suffering. Because if we stay present with our present conditions, it's just unbearable.
Yeah.
That's why we escape our
Yeah.
body and we escape
Yeah.
into the mindscape, basically. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think we have to go through this? In your personal experience, because you're a very wise guy and very young, but extremely wise.
Thank you. Thank you. In my personal experience, and what I found to be true for myself, is until we work for something, we don't really realize the value and the worth of it. Until we have to go through something extreme and hard, then we wouldn't really appreciate it. And if something is handed down, I mean, we all know, if something handed down to a child without them understanding the worth and the value and what it took to get that to them, I broke so many toys. But I know my parents worked day and night to afford those toys. But when the moment I got them, I was just throwing them around, breaking them, because I did not understand what it took for that to be built, for that to be worked for that to be bought, and for that to be gifted to me. So I see life the same way. If something was just handed to me, I wouldn't see the value of it. I wouldn't see the worth of it. So if it takes for me to go through suffering to understand the value and worth of it, which it's after going to suffering and being where I am today, it's like, it's worth it for me times 10.
Yeah, it seals in, it gets kind of lodged in to your existence.
Yeah.
I was laughing because I started thinking about myself, and if a friend watches this, they may laugh too. I was so taking care of my toys and this, and you know what? I reached a certain age. I was about 23, 4, 5, whatever, somewhere around there. I'm like, oh my God, I have lived with this wisdom, but I just don't feel it. Let me go experience life. Let me just break those toys now. And I had this notion that if I don't do it, then I just won't feel the value of life. And thank you for reminding me of that.
Yes. Wow, that's beautiful, because it reminds me of this saying in Iran that I heard, that you're not supposed to, you're like, let's say life is a shirt that you get. You're not supposed to keep it perfect and clean and nice. It's supposed to be all torn up and used and experienced and just thrown around, because you're supposed to experience these things. You're supposed to go around and try different things, make mistakes, trial and error, learn. So that's what it reminded me of as well.
So that makes sense. So when we go through those experiences, then all of a sudden poetry feels different to us, right?
Yes.
I know you are into that, and Nassim and Natasha, and it brings you more into the heart.
Yeah, like I feel like the start of my journey, my spiritual journey, was Sufi poetry,
Mm,
because there was a period of time where I really kept myself away from spirituality, from God, from religion, from everything. And the the time period where I started to come back and I got interested in again was through poetry, through Rumi, through Hafez, through all the different poets, especially the
mystical.
mystical poets,
Yeah.
yeah, who their main message is love,
Yeah.
love for this existence, love for this creation, love for the creator, and love for the creation as well. And yeah, that was the starting point of, about 3 years ago. And to this day, I still get a lot of my grounding truths.
Mhm.
I read something in a religious writing or in a holy writing, and I try to implement it. And when I implement it and I see the effects, I see that like, let's say a poet also tried that and saw the effects too, and it matches.
Mhm.
Now, like, okay, there must be something to it then, and it grounds it for me. It makes it into a belief for me.
It's interesting. You would when you and I talked last time, we talked about this experience that uh, because the word God
Mhm.
means so many things to people, and we just chatted that we have gone through this process of examining our
Yeah.
understanding and belief, and people who are watching it can be atheists, they can be agnostic, they can be a certain believer in certain philosophies and all, but we all have a very unique relationship with a higher being, even the highest uh, aspect of ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's what you said, the God within. So it's a very fascinating journey. It's about faith, and you also mentioned in your introduction. So by removing certain mindsets and programs and patterns, then we recreate certain ones, and it's all about kind of bringing peace and clarity into our inner being.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you practice in
Yes.
reality?
Yes.
And that would affect your outside world?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, we can't necessarily change, the weather or this or that, but the way we react to it or not react and just be with it changes.
Yes. Yes. I mean, to start off, God is just a word. So is the ocean, so is the sun. The word does not encompass, the word sun does not encompass the sun itself. It's just a word that we've created to make sense of something. And for me, I've had such a journey with God, with the word God, with the being God, with the essence God. And I went from, I feel like I've been on the entire spectrum, from not believing if there's God, or questioning the existence of God, or what is God? Why is he this? Why is he that? Why do I have to submit? Why do I have to do this? So many different questions that I feel like a lot of people have in their minds. And I've learned that those are all like programs, those are all conditioning that has been done by the outside world. And I feel like there's a God within all of us. And it's, from my experience, God is the source of this creation. God is the source of this existence, which makes him the source of everything, the source of love, peace, harmony, wealth, consciousness, knowledge, wisdom, every attribute, every characteristic that a human may have, the source of it is God. And I feel like the more we establish that connection within the God within us, the more closer we become, the more connected we become with the God within us, the closer we become to the source. And the closer we are to the source, the more we're able to receive what the source is giving us.
Interesting. Um, I have been on a quest to understand different, sounds silly, but it is like partially a mental quest, but partially it was a calling to understand different levels and layers of consciousness, and also our own being. In Ayurveda is called koshas, or the bodies. And within it, something never made sense, and that was, so what is soul? But then what is the higher self? And then what is Atman, and what is Brahman? I'm referring to terminology that's used in Ayurveda or Hinduism, but maybe some are familiar with. And what I've learned is pretty interesting, is like our higher self is beyond even the existence or experience of the soul. And that is that link to God, or however somebody would see that, just central consciousness, pure consciousness, or divine included. And what we experience as a soul, which is part of our spirituality, is what allows us to learn on our own, like the childhood experience of breaking toys. Our soul is here to break those toys and then understand it, and then mend what needs to be mended, and just like dispose of what is not.
That's
so even the child, that experience is an embodiment of God within us. It's pretty incredible.
It is. And one thing that I've learned, and I'm working on myself at the moment, is as a child, I always was very thirsty for knowledge. My favorite question in the world is why. Everything that happens, I have to ask why. Whether someone does something to me or whether I do something, I ask the why, and I keep asking why after every question until I get to the root of something. And growing up, just this whole question of why am I here? Why is this all here? What is the purpose? What is the reason for all this? And one thing that I am learning to let go of and surrender is that some things are beyond my comprehension. Some things are beyond beyond my understandings. And that is the essence of God that I've always wanted to truly know. And I'm learning that that is something that is beyond my capacity. And one thing that has helped me with that is an analogy of, this painting. This painting won't ever understand the painter. And that I see myself as that. I'm the painting, and I will never fully understand my painter, but there are certain things that I can look for.
Or it runs through.
Yes. And one thing that has helped me with my connection with God and my knowledge of God is, I feel like we can see God, but we can see through his attributes. If he's the source of all the attributes, if he's the source of kindness, forgiveness, compassion, and love, then if somebody is portraying that to me, if someone is showing me kindness, if someone is forgiving me, if someone is having mercy on me, then I am looking at God right there.
What you said is just amazing. It is so simple, but you said he, and it's pretty interesting. One of the conversations we had is I told you it's incredible to be young and be wise and carry this vibe of a healthy masculine, which nowadays either is getting lost in some ways, and then some are working really hard, because universally the divine feminine energy is trying to reemerge, and it has nothing to do with certain mentalities or schools of thought or nothing. It is one aspect of God, but the yin and yang go
Yeah.
together to
Yeah.
create this unity,
Yeah.
because we live in this duality.
Yes.
And you said he to somebody, that expression is she,
Uh-huh.
and but it is really of all of it
Mhm.
together.
Mhm.
Um, do you see that your relationship with yourself, being a love coach
Mhm.
and getting in touch with the inner God,
Mhm.
has helped you be in a healthier masculine embodiment? Or how would you, if you talk to a group of uh, young gentlemen or
Mhm.
just men, how
Mhm.
would you explain that?
That's a very good question, and I don't think that, just because my God is a he, that your God should be a he too.
Mhm.
Your God is a she. It's whatever that you feel comfortable with.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because I'm starting to, write poetry,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
I was thinking about using she as a, a term for God in my poetry if I'm ever writing about God in my poetry. So, but being who I am and um, embodying a healthy masculine and trying to be a positive impact for the world, I feel like the source of that has been my connection with God,
Mhm.
because there was a period of time where I was not a healthy masculine. I was actually very toxic masculine. And my reintroduction, I feel like, because there was a period of time where I took a step back, my reintroduction to spirituality, to God, and to just being an overall better human being
Mhm.
started this transformation of love for me. And this love was for God. This
Yeah.
love was for, like, wow, like this something that I can't understand, but it just loves me so much.
Yeah,
It's
and
just giving
there's
me
no
so much.
polarity.
Yeah.
It is just so enveloping and
Yes.
so kind. It's like it's not of a mother or a father. It
Yes.
is just, it is.
Yes. 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 And
So you basically getting more connected to the heart,
mhm, mhm.
your personal, your universal heart, everything. It just brings all that wisdom about.
Yeah, and I, because of that love, because of seeing everything that I have been given, and I started with this even existence
Mhm.
because I reached a point where uh, I felt like there could have been a scenario where I wouldn't even be here.
Mhm.
So the fact that I'm here, that's another thing that I can be grateful for, which makes my love even stronger. And because of that, I feel this sense of debt that I want to repay. And I've learned that the highest form of love or the highest form of gratitude to God is to love another person, is to be kind to another person, is to be a source of positivity to another person, because that other person is also a creation of God. That other person.
Yeah, you see that light in them. You see the
Yes.
God in them.
Yes. And if I want to love God, I have to love his creation. If I
But that
want
includes you too.
yeah, yeah, yes, yes, absolutely. And it's once this pipeline is connected, I always call it once this pipeline connected, then the tank is never empty,
Ah,
because you work on it daily.
uh-huh.
And spirituality for me is a daily practice. Like it's kind of like a bird flying. As soon as the wings stop flapping, it's gonna come down. So every day there needs to be some sort of practice, some sort of dedication to establishing that connection, whether it's through prayer, meditation, or anything that may
Would
help anyone.
breath work be one of those things?
Breath work as well. Yeah, because I've even had to reprogram a lot of my beliefs about God, because my experience growing up in Iran, being a Baha'i, and growing up in a country where it's very Islam dominated, I was not able to do certain things, and my parents were not able to go to university, and there was just so many prejudice against Baha'is in Iran. And us moving here across the world, I always blamed God. I always blamed religion. I was like, oh, this religion, this God is the reason why we had to go through so many hardships. I was like 10 and 11 at the time. And this is the reason why I had to leave my family, my cousins, my grandma, my grandparents, and move across the world where we didn't know anyone, didn't know the language, went through another set of trauma, went through another set of racism, prejudice, and all of that. So there was a lot of blame and hate and anger, resentment, yeah. And I had to do a lot of reprogramming around that, which it turned out to be, the greatest blessing for me. Everything that had happened, it went from me thinking as the worst thing, but it happened to be the best thing for me. And that took a lot of breath work and took a lot of reprogramming and mindset shifts.
So since doing these chats, I invite pretty much everyone who's being interviewed to share a bit of their wisdom, their practice to the audience. And we are recording this in December of 2021. So the holidays are coming up here in the States and pretty much all over the world. What would you do? How would you give this gift to the audience to bring peace to themselves, practicality to their spirituality, and making peace with the mind, or letting mind be a more peaceful space, especially during this time of the year that a lot is happening and emotions resurface and our relationship with money and family and everything comes to the surface.
Yes. I feel like there's been a lot of talk about spirituality and money in a sense. And I feel like the image that has been created or painted by spirituals in the past has been to not be wealthy, to not have money, or money is bad. And that's something that I grew up with too. And the religion that I practice, the Baha'i faith, actually commends wealth, actually celebrates wealth, if that wealth is used for the betterment of the world. So that I grew up with a lot of beliefs around money, like money is bad, money is evil, money is filthy. And I started to realize that money is a neutral thing. Energy is neutral. It's what energy gets put behind it that people tend to take on. People can use money for evil things, which we see, but we can also use money for so many good things. We can build hospitals, build schools, bring electricity to parts of the world that still don't have electricity or water, or donate. Just so many beautiful things that we can do.
Flow again.
Yes.
It's been known, maybe overused, that money's energy and all that, and this is all changing too.
Yeah.
Maybe as a species, our relationship with this aspect is going to come to an end and something else will reemerge. But right now, this is in our reality.
Yes.
So.
And money is abundant. That's the thing. If our source, if God is infinite, then how can anything that comes from him be finite? And when we think of money as finite, we are limiting ourselves from our capacity to earn more money, to become wealthier, to be able to use that money to have a better, more positive impact in the world. And that's been my journey recently, is to reprogram myself and pull out those subconscious programs that if any child grew up in an environment, in a house where money was hard to come by, or there was not a lot of money, or scarcity mindset, they have a subconscious belief, they have a subconscious thought that money is evil, money is bad, I don't want money, because they were rejected by money. And now as an adult, they are subconsciously rejecting it before money has a
And
chance.
you can be in your 60s and
Yes.
70s and still live with all that.
Yes. Yes. And when we open that up, when we reprogram money from not being evil, but actually being good, we open up the channel for us to actually go out and receive more money, attract more money, be a magnet to more money so that we can use it to not only improve our lives, but improve the lives of many people around us.
Use it however is necessary you feel is the right way to do.
Yeah, and in the times that we are now, with the pandemic and everything, money has caused a lot of fear, anxiety, and stress. And it goes back to that scarcity mindset that, oh, money's gonna run out, or I'm gonna run out of money. And that limits our ability to create things, be able to attract more, be able to, ask for more money. I worked in a 9 to 5 job, and it was so hard for me to ask for more money because I felt like subconsciously I don't deserve more. And I was limiting myself. So it's like so many different programs that subconsciously influence our behavior towards money.
Well, let's give it a try.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let Hootan do this on his own so you get a better understanding and highest amount of benefit from it, and watch it as many times as you can. Refer to it. It doesn't have to be about the holidays, but it's going to be about money. And then I'll join you again in a little bit.
Welcome back. As we mentioned earlier, we're going to do breath work together, and we're going to be working to identifying the subconscious thoughts that we may all have in regards to money. And we're going to release the negative emotions that are giving those thoughts power. And once we release those emotions through the power of our breath, we will be reprogramming them so that we're thinking positively towards money. And once we're thinking positively towards money, then we're able to create positive emotions, which then help us take inspired action and be more open to receiving money and creating money. To explain to you the process of how it's going to go, if you're in a place where you can lay down and be comfortable, that would be best, but you can go ahead and sit up, and that's okay. It's better if your eyes are closed and you're able to relax and go into your body and just be in a very safe, quiet, and comfortable place. You don't have to do it now, but I'm going to guide you through the whole process. I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath in. You're going to hold that breath. I'm going to say a short sentence. I want you to repeat that sentence in your mind silently. And when you're done repeating, you can go ahead and breathe out on your own. If you've never done breath work before, some of the physical sensations that you may be feeling is a little bit of tingling in your hands and feet. That's totally okay because we're releasing energy, and you're going to feel light. You're going to feel more empowered. You're going to feel just much more in touch and connected and centered. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. And we're going to start with 3 deep cleansing inhales and exhales. Let's go ahead and take that first inhale. And breathe it out. Feel yourself relaxing a little bit. Let's take another deep inhale and fill up your chest and stomach all the way out. Breathe it out. Feel yourself relaxing a little bit more. Let's take another cleansing inhale. And breathe it out. And as you're breathing normally, let's set the intention that we're here to open up a pathway within us so that these emotions that may be asleep, that may be dormant, that may be causing us to not be open to not money, to not be open to receiving money, to not be open to attracting more money, for them to leave. We're here to acknowledge, we're here to notice, and we're here to let them go. Take a deep breath in and breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all anger with money is evil. And breathe it out. Good. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all fear with money is evil. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all shame with money is evil. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all disbelief with money is evil. And breathe it out. Great job. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Good. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with belief with money is evil. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with thankfulness with money is evil. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with receiving with money is evil. And breathe it out. Great job. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Deep breath in and hold. I'm so happy and grateful that money is pure energy that can be used to bring about good in this life. And breathe it out. Great job. Take some normal breaths here. Relax. You're doing great. The next program that we are going to reprogram is I don't deserve money, or I'm not worthy of money. Deep breath in and hold. I release all anger with I'm not worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all disbelief with I'm not worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all fear with I'm not worthy of money. And breathe it out. Deep breath in and hold. I release all hurt and sadness with I'm not worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. You're doing great. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Good. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with belief with I'm not worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with thankfulness with I'm not worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with feeling and receiving with I'm not worthy of money. And breathe it out. Good. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Take some normal breaths. Relax, you're doing great. Deep breath in and hold. I release all doubt with I am worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all disbelief with I am worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all skepticism with I am worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with belief with I am worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with thankfulness with I am worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with knowingness that I am worthy of money. And breathe it out. Great job. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Deep breath in and hold. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm worthy of receiving and having money, wealth, and abundance. And breathe it out. Great job. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Deep breath in and hold. I release all anger with someone else deserves more money than I do. And breathe it out. Good. Deep breath in and hold. I release all disappointment with someone deserves more money than I do. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all hurt and sadness with someone else deserves money more than I do. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with belief with someone else deserves more money than I do. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I release all blocks with thankfulness with someone deserves more money than I do. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm worthy and deserving of receiving and having money and material abundance. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I'm so happy and grateful that God's infinite source of abundance, wealth, and riches is showering over me and will continue to shower over me. And breathe it out. Great job. Deep breath in and hold. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm open to receiving and creating better than I can imagine in my financial life. And breathe it out. Great job. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Take a moment to notice, to feel the peace, the calm, the belief, the lightness that is running through your body. Take a moment to connect with the new version, with this new person that believes that they are worthy of money, that they are worthy of abundance. This new person that feels and believes with their entire being that they are worthy and deserving of riches, of wealth. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Little by little, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your neck around. Shake the energy off of you. And very slowly open your eyes and come back to this place. And every time the topic of money comes into your head, the thoughts of money comes into your head about the future, it's important to consciously make an effort to remind yourself and to think positively towards money, that money is infinite, you deserve more money, you're worthy of more money, and you can create more money. There's no finite amount. And the more you're able to do that, the more you are automatically thinking in positive terms towards money, which makes you more open to create different avenues, different streams, and different ways that you can receive more money, that you can receive more wealth, because the different avenues, the different ways are out there. It's just about opening ourselves up to them and tapping into that creative nature, creative flow that is within us to be able to come up with creative ways that we can earn more money, we can create more money. Great job. Drink plenty of water. And that was a very simple and short and sweet preview of this powerful technique, which is called subconscious release technique. And this could be used on any program, whether it's towards money, love, relationship, the self, God, any different topic, and all the different programs that could be running in our subconscious mind.
What a session. I could feel the lightness tremendously. Not to create distractions. I wasn't practicing, but I was in a meditative mode. And so I look forward to doing it. But I know the effects of your work, and you have joined this global community of breathwork practitioners. Yes. And you would like to teach, correct?
Yes. This subconscious release technique, SRT Global, the company that came up with this modality, the founder and everyone that is working there is just very type of people that live from their hearts. Mm-hmm. And they see this modality as something that can be spread throughout the world. And the beautiful thing about this is that once an individual learns how to do it, they can do it by themselves. They wouldn't need another practitioner to guide them. And one of our missions, and one of the things that I signed up to come aboard on recently was their global team, which we will help to spread this modality and to teach different parts of the world that are going through very hard times. Is a powerful way to help them heal, help them reprogram, help them release negative emotions and regulate their nervous system. And other things that I'm looking to create, actually next Thursday, I have a group breathwork session where it will be done on Zoom, and each person from the comfort of their home can.
So that'll be the 9th of December. I don't believe the video will be released, but is this something you're going to be doing more often?
Yes, I'm going to be doing more often, probably twice a month, where I'm going to have group breathwork sessions where you can be anywhere in the world, and we're going to each breath work is going to be specific to a specific program, whether it's I'm not good enough, whether it's I'm not worthy, I'm not in control, all the different fears and negative thoughts that we may have.
You mentioned something before we started the chat, the interview part, that this practice is a very complete one. And you did mention certain modalities like EMDR. Can you very briefly tell us what this practice entails for the ones who are interested in learning, and also share your contact information with us, where you're found on social media and all this?
Yes, of course. What I was telling Asal about this modality is that it combines it's a combination of so many different modalities. You know, we regulate the nervous system by breathing, and we tap into the subconscious by holding our breath, because once we hold our breath, we are at, that's a bridge
We're
to the
forced to.
yeah, that's a bridge to our subconscious mind. And then we were able to identify programs. We were able to identify the different negative thoughts that are in our subconscious mind that are planted there. And thirdly, we're able to reprogram those. You know, we're able to, because if the same neurons have been firing and wiring together for a very long time, and those, what we call those negative subconscious thoughts, we need to disrupt that. We need to create new pathways, new neural pathways, and that is what is ultimately reprogramming. So we're able to do that. And once that happens, the individual's consciousness expands, and the individual is able to see a situation differently and go find a different solution for it that helps them overcome much easier. And lastly, we're just able to release the negative emotions that are stored in the body, because as we're breathing, we're touching on the different emotions that are giving those negative thoughts power, that are giving those negative thoughts, you know, something to stick to. And once those are gone, then the negative thought also loses its power over you.
How easy, how interesting. I used something similar in my practice, and it works with the meridians in the body, the energy channels. But this is available to you. It's free. Once you learn it, how to do it, it's accessible to you, as you said, wherever there's air, we can breathe. We just bring consciousness, high levels of consciousness to this practice, to our benefit and for the highest good of all.
Yes.
And Hootan, where can people find you? Do you have a website, and which social media platforms you're on?
They can find me on Instagram, and my website is on my Instagram. So if you go on Instagram, my handle is HOOTAN.ZIARY. And I always offer, if you're looking to experience it one-on-one and see what kind of subconscious programs are still in your system that are blocking your ability to manifest what you truly desire, I always offer the first session for free. So you're able to experience the different things that are blocking you and experience the breath work on a one-on-one setting, where it's about 30-45 minute journey.
You almost ran us through a whole course, like a few minutes short, but appreciate that. What a generous gift.
Oh, thank you for allowing me. Thank you for allowing me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's again, this is an informal channel to get to know about different modalities that are out there, things that I've practiced myself and I've seen the results, tremendous amount of change, or people that I know who are living examples of such. So share this if you find this practice beneficial, or the chat part, you gained the wisdom or remembered something, share it with someone. There could be somebody out there who's just waiting for this message and this practice to arrive to them. Subscribe to my channel, visit my website, www.asalshokati.com. I am starting an academy called Expansion Academy for holistic professionals to teach what I know. And I'm going to have adjunct professors or faculty members or trainers with us, hopefully. This is for the community, so help us spread the word. It will reach where it needs to reach at the right time. So these are intended to be timeless, even though certain videos we reference different times of the year. But come back, watch. It's available to you as long as it's feasibly possible.
Yes.
It's on YouTube.
Yes.
Thank you so
Thank you.
very much for sharing all you shared, and thank you for staying with us this time, and hope you enjoyed it. Keep coming back to it if you find it beneficial.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
And thank you as well.
Bye bye.